Cowboys bring in Northwest Missouri State quarterback Mike Hohensee. First and foremost, he's 6'1", 213 pounds. He got a live arm. He is by far best dual threat quarterbacks for that particular school and conference there. He's also a punt kicker, and he averaged 50.3 yards per punt, and that was a school record there. As far as the school record for that particular program, 73.6 completion percentage. And in one game, he threw for 6 touchdowns, which was amazing for that school there. So he's one of those guys that the Cowboys are looking to bring in. He's a strong live arm guy, and he got praises from Kurt Warner from his precision and his precise throwing of the ball. His father played football back in the days in 1987. I believe he was on the Bears that year. So the Cowboys are looking for someone who can throw the ball around during this particular longer offseason. You always need a live arm, and why not bring in a guy like Mike Hohensee? And he can be an extra arm, a camp arm is what we call it. But here's what I'm saying. When you got a guy of the kind of caliber from a small school, you leave no stone unturned. We know for sure that we never kind of belittle a quarterback coming from the undrafted community, because we seen another quarterback that wore number 9 for the Cowboys named Tony Romo. Stood tall, right? From a small school, by the way. So not saying that you can't catch lightning in the bottle again, but the Cowboys are trying to see if they can bring in a guy like Mike Hohensee, who wore number 9 in college, to get some things going for them. Hopefully it could be just that. 6 touchdowns in one game. That's amazing no matter what level of school you're at. And quarterback completion percentage at 73.6 and in 9 games throwing 22 touchdowns as a school record. Those are things that you look for, and let's give him a shot. You just never know how things can turn around for a quarterback, right? So I'm just looking at it like that. And you always need a quarterback with a live arm, especially in training camp. And lo and behold, you get somebody like that, it can help out down the stretch, because you try to evaluate not just the quarterback itself, but you're evaluating these young tight ends, you're evaluating these young wide receivers, and you need somebody that got precision, precise throws, can throw it right on the number, can hit these guys in stride, so that you can get fullness of your evaluation piece. Now, granted, to have someone lobbying for you like a Kurt Warner's of the world, that's great. And I always say this, especially a kid that grew up as his father was the actual quarterback for a professional team, meaning that he taught his son all of the techniques, all of the nuances that he's supposed to have. Now, granted, he went to a small school, so that's where you can pull back and say, well, I have reservations on that, right? But outside of all of that, when you look at Mike Hohensee, let's see what we got. Leave no stone unturned. Leave no stone unturned, and let's see what he brings to the table. And of course, there's only one football. And during training camp, keep in mind, there's 90 guys, right? And you got to split that team into pieces and make sure that you got the proper quarterback that can throw to these guys that's on the back end of the roster to do your proper evaluation. So hopefully Mike can make this team and do something. I'm always rooting for the underdog. Like I said, in his career here, he pretty much got a lot of records with them. He threw for 6,500 passing yards, 63 passing touchdowns, while completing overall in his collegiate career 68 completion percentage. And then just last season, he finished off with 73.6 completion percentage, meaning that he is precise with his throws, regardless of whether or not it's a small school or a big school. Those are good numbers. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns of Mike Hohensee. Let's go. Hey, let's get it. 6'1", 213, and he can move around a little bit. He also had 630 yards rushing with 15 touchdowns on the ground. So, yeah, he can move around just a little bit. And keep in mind, the last time the Cowboys had someone like a dual threat like this was Danny White. Remember him? He was a punter and a thrower as well. So hey, giving me Danny White type of vibes. And we will soon see. And keep in mind, this is just him coming to the Cowboys to be a throwing session guy. Hey, we've seen crazier things happen in the National Football League. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.